Hello everyone, this is Squallcasting bringing you another game of StarCraft 2. In this match, we have Infinity 7's Axslav, not as well known as his opponent, e.g. Idra, but definitely still a very good player, as it's kind of impossible to be a terrible player and be matched up against Idra, so that alone is proof that he's pretty good. And over here, we have Evil Genius's Idra, known for absence of GGs and occasional smack talk. Definitely a good player though. I'll take a quick look at this map. So this is Ohana LE, or natural, is pretty easy to take and defend, as there's a ramp there that you can keep an eye on. There are backdoor rocks though, so the enemy can potentially tunnel in through there, but when you want to take a third, you can just break down those rocks and then take your third right there. That's kind of interesting. Got two watchtowers pretty close together in the center. Each watchtower radius stops just short of seeing the other watchtower, but does provide quite a bit of vision of attack lanes towards your main. Axslav is scouting in here. Not really going to see anything at this point because no one's really built anything other than production units, so no 6-pool out of Idra or anything crazy like that. Axslav, on the other hand, looks like he's going for the very standard Forge Fast Expand. Now, the interesting thing about Idra is that he's kind of a binary player. When he is on point and he's playing his game the way he wants to, he is an absolute terror to deal with. His macro is absolutely superb. Axslav dropping down a pile to block hatchery. But, that said, Idra seems a little bit more vulnerable to certain things that other players would just play through, like cheese, and just kind of unexpected, non-standard play. Seems to really throw him off his game a lot. Axslav blocking the third as well. Idra can't possibly like that too much. His spawning pool's finishing up though, so he'll be able to send a few Zerglings out to clear that up immediately, but that is definitely slowing Idra's economy down a lot, so. But as I was saying, Idra definitely seems to struggle at times with certain things, but we'll have to see what Idra it is that is playing today. Might be able to get that third. Yep, there it goes down. And he will probably take his natural here pretty soon after, once the Zerglings cleared up. Axslav, on the other hand, starting to work on his wall. Looks like he did take down his Nexus before the Forge. Yep, went down 10 seconds earlier. So very economically aggressive opening, but that's pretty safe to do against Idra, because Idra always likes to expand before doing anything else. And Idra's going to take his natural now, and that'll put him up at 3 bases pretty darn quick. So this is the standard metagame right now in ZVP, where you take 3 bases in a real hurry, you produce a trillion drones, and it's really the only way to stay on par with the Forge Fast Expand build, which Protoss have figured out to the extent where it's really quite safe to do, especially on a map like this. Going for some sort of roach rush would just not work, because you have to go all the way down here, and that kind of takes forever. So Photon Cannon going up, that'll keep Axslav nice and safe. Cancels that one gateway that was there just to prevent Zerglings from slipping in, but those won't be able to do too much now. Idra does manage to sneak his Overlord in, so he'll be able to position that to Suicide in later to take a look at tech. And Axslav throwing down a Cyber Core. This does look like a bit of a wider spot he's left open, so he might need 2 Zealots to plug that hole. Something Idra could potentially take advantage of later. Idra, on the other hand, he's got his third up, natural finishing up just now. I guess this would be his second, that would be his third technically, but whatever. And Idra taking both watchtowers just to keep as much vision of the map as possible, and spreading these overlords out. So Idra is starting to get his 2 gases so he can begin teching, start getting that Zergling speed, potentially move up to lair pretty soon. Really depends what kind of build Idra wants to go for. If I would venture a guess, I'd guess some kind of Ling Muta composition. That's what I've seen out of him more recently in the games I've been watching and casting. But there's definitely a couple of different possibilities. One thing most other Zergs seem to be going for right now is where they get these 3 bases, and then they put down a Roach Warren, and at the 13-minute mark they have 200 food and roaches, and then they just go and overwhelm the Protoss player with just sheer volume of numbers. Axslav, though, looks like he wants to go take his natural, but there is a Zergling there to deny it, and his minerals are getting awfully high. Not macroing the best right now. This probe dropping 2 pylons just cause. I guess he wants to get the infrastructure for his third ready. Zergling's going to go to work a little bit, but probably won't kill it. And the Zealot moving out now to clear out that Zergling so he can take his third, so. I have to see what else he goes on behind us. He's just finishing up Warp Gate. He hasn't put down any other tech yet, but he is taking down, or he is taking those 2 gases, and he already has both in his main, so definitely not any kind of ultra aggressive 7 Warp Gate push. You wouldn't need as much gas for that. Hasn't put any probes in those gases yet, probably just a mistake. He'll probably do it pretty soon. Idra, though, looks like he wants to put on a little bit of pressure, has a bunch of Zerglings moving out across the map. Potentially wants to deny this third, but already the absolute mother of all walls going up with a bunch of gateways. So Axslav definitely looks like he wants to do a more gateway-centric build, at least for the first while. His 5 gates is not... probably wouldn't throw that down if he meant to go into Robo really quick. So just keeping these Zerglings down here just to be annoying. And, oh, he's going to get that cannon. And I don't think these cannons are going to finish up in time to clear that up. So these Zerglings could do some good damage. We'll see, though. Axslav definitely needs to look at warping some stuff in. His warp gate has just finished. These gateways are finishing as well. We'll see what Idra's able to accomplish. All he's done so far is just kill cannons, which is okay. And certainly that's annoying for Axslav, but not sure if it was worth that many Zerglings. Especially when he could have made drones instead of those Zerglings, so... yeah, Idra definitely wanted to take that down, because 3-base Protoss has an absolutely terrifying amount of production potential. So Idra's lair is on the way. Again, we'll have to see what kind of tech he wants to get into. Getting the 2 extractors there, and 2 here. So that's going to be a ton of gas for him. We could see Infestors. That would not surprise me at all. Idra does like his Infestor play a fair bit. And they do require a ton of gas. Throwing out a macro hatch in the main, just to keep his production up. And Idra slipping on the macro a little bit. Either that or he's intentionally stockpiling, so he can build something lair tech related. Hasn't dropped anything yet. Hallucinated Phoenix getting in, taking a look at things. But there's no real tech yet, aside from just the spawning pool and an Evo Chamber getting +1. Axslav, on the other hand, getting his Twilight Council. I'll find that. Yeah, there it is, in the main. Pretty safe spot to throw it down. So, we'll see if that's going to be blink play. I would... You don't really get this many sentries and then get blink play, but we'll see what he chooses to do. He could also go for something like High Templar pretty early. He does have a fair bit of gas, so he might go for that. We'll have to see. Idra, on the other hand, staying on a primarily Ling composition and throwing down an Infestation Pit, but I don't think he's really going to be able to do very much damage at all right now, unless he just walks into that front door that's completely open, but decided not to, I guess, and yeah, he doesn't want to push into there. There's just way too many cannons, and while he deals some damage, he would lose all those Lings. Did he think this was closed? Or did he assume there'd be a sentry there to force field? I'm not sure. But I feel like you could have just waltzed all the way up into here, and all there really would have been were these Stalkers, and those Lings could have taken those out pretty easy. They have 1-1. Stalkers only have 1 attack. But Idra doesn't want to risk it. Moving to take his 4th now. Pretty standard macro play out of him, and a Spire going up as well. And, ooh, Hive on the way. So I would venture a guess at Idra going for a quick Broodlord transition here. You usually don't see Hive this quickly if he's wanting to go, say, Ling, Muta, Infestor. Idra, though, getting some Banelings, loading up Overlords. This is fun. I love the Overlord bombs. The Baneling bombs, I should say. And it looks like he's just going to send this one into the main drop and here kill a whole bunch of probes. These ones going to swing down to the 3rd. There are some cannons there, but the Overlords, you know, they're fairly beefy. They have 200 hit points. So they should be able to get in and unload those Banelings before they die. We'll see how this works out, though. I'll try to track both attack angles. A bunch of Lings here at the front. This Overlord swinging in. going straight for the probe line. And you're going to send those Zerglings in to draw fire, and then drop the Banelings. But Axslav already running all his probes, so Idra needs to get out of there. That's not going to do too much. He does get a couple probes there. Does take out the cannon. And yeah, that's definitely a depleted mineral line, so he did get several probes there. 13 probes killed, so a nice little harassment move by Idra. Certainly doesn't cost him a lot. 13 probes is definitely worth 12 Banelings. And Axslav, he's got a hallucinated Colossi, because as we know, hallucinated Colossi hard counter Idra. But Idra's falling back, and yep, Greater Spire on the way, as well as another Spire. So he wants to get both so he can get upgrades out as quickly as possible. And for now, he's just going to have to rely on these Zerglings to defend. He has a lot, and there haven't been any force fields yet, but he doesn't want to engage into that tight choke. Infestor gets picked off. We've got some Archons morphing in here, but they die before they accomplish anything, and these things are doing quite well for themselves. But Idra decides to fall back for the time being. I feel like he could have cleaned that up. That's not that many Stalkers left, but clearly he feels he needs to pull back. So getting Adrenal Glands and 3/3 for the Zerglings. So gonna be Broodlord, Infestor, Zergling. Definitely a cool composition. Axslav though, getting another Archon, using his army to push forward the Archon while it morphs. That's always kind of fun. And Idra just gonna fall back, just kind of moving around, forcing Axslav to be aware of where his Zerglings are. And Axslav swinging up here, potentially checking for a base, but Idra's base is over here. And Idra creeping up this spot so Axslav can't take it. And it looks like, there was a probe there that wanted to lay down a base, but it couldn't. Axslav, though, looks like he wants to push up a little bit. He has 2-1, but the Lings do have 2-2. 3/3 is not yet finished, but there are a lot of Infestors there, and those are some good fungals, pinning the army in place, but he just doesn't want to commit with Zerglings in on that many Zealots. And I really don't blame him. Zealots kind of chew through Zerglings, just a little bit, especially with an Archon in the middle. Zerglings do not like Archons. Axslav moving down here, going to force that overload away, or kill it. Probably going to kill it. Yeah, that's dead. And still, he'll have to wait a little while for that creep to recede before he can make his base. That's always so annoying. Idra, though, starting to get his Broodlords. Flyer attacks 1/1 are on the way, but no upgrades done yet. So these Broodlords won't be quite as lethal as possible. And swarming forward with the Zerglings. Gonna try to get some good fungals down. Oh, but Storm's killing so many Zerglings. Wow. But that said, Idra still has 3 Broodlords, and he's getting good fungals down, pinning the army in place while the Broodlords just shell them from a distance. And Axslav forced to fall back. Idra reproducing a ton of Zerglings, getting 3 more Corruptors. 3 attack has just finished for the Zerglings, so those Zerglings will be absolutely shredding everything, and their Adrenal Glands is done as well. So they attack fast, they hit hard for a 25 mineral unit, and they have 3 armor, so that's a pretty scary force for Axslav to deal with. He only has 2/2 so far, so definitely a little bit behind. Idra, not sure why he's pulling all those Zerglings back. Oh, there's a War Prism there. And Axslav taking out the spawning pool. Idra immediately throwing down another one so his production won't be delayed that long. But Idra, he's getting caught out here in the middle with all these Broodlords, and these could all die. Except there's no anti-air there, so he's totally fine. Losing a lot of Infestors, though. Should definitely try to run those. Doing some nice fungal kite action, but still a bit of a pain. There's a couple Stalkers there now. Gets a fungal on them so they can't move. And the Broodlords are dealing a ton of damage without really being hurt back. Axslav forced to fall back. Well behind on supply. Idra's way up. He has a pretty hefty bank too, so he can just flood Zerglings in once he drops his supply. Getting more Broodlords. Spawning pool finishing up again, so he'll be able to resume Ling production, getting some good fungals, and the Lings just swarming in, chewing up everything. Idra falls back again, lets the Broodlords continue to do work. Lets those free Broodling units deal damage and soak up damage. Stalkers blink forward, trying to kill some Broodlords. They get 1. Will they get 2? They get 2. But really, Axslav's definitely on the back foot here. He has no standing army, and GG. Well played by Idra. and Axslav just not quite up to the task. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you later.